Fire Safety Summit here in North Carolina. We are thrilled to have about 275 people that signed up to be with us today, which is amazing for these COVID times. I would give about anything for us to be back together, but because of the things that are going on everywhere, this is a great way for us to get together, spend some time together, and have a morning and an afternoon together. The way the day is going to work is we will have a session from 9 to 11. We'll take an extended lunch from 11 to 1, and then we have a very dynamic session this afternoon from 1 to 3, talking about how do we continue to promote safety now that Fire Prevention Week is over. So on behalf of NFPA, I want to thank you for being here. This morning, a couple of things for housekeeping. The chat function is available to you to have informal conversations. If you have any questions, if you wouldn't mind using the Q&A. So the Q&A tab is at the bottom of your screen. And at the end of each session, we'll go over the questions that have been asked. So please share links, share resources with each other in the chat. But if you have a question, please list those in the Q&A. At the end of today, we will have an evaluation that you will be able to fill out remotely. And we ask for you to please give us some feedback on whether this event was useful and how we can improve it moving forward. I also wanted to thank the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition. They are behind the scenes facilitating our Zoom meeting today. So a big thank you to them, to the North Carolina Department of Insurance and the Office of State Fire Marshal for their continued partnership, for State Farm, who's been with us since day one, helping to facilitate these summits, to the North Carolina State Firefighters Association, North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs, the North Carolina Fire and Life Safety Educators, the Firefighters Burn Children's Fund, and the North Carolina Fire Marshal Association. Every fire organization in our state partnered to bring this event out to firefighters in North Carolina and beyond. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brian Taylor, the Chief State Fire Marshal with the North Carolina Department of Insurance, to kick us off.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Kelly, thank you for those open remarks, and I want to spotlight some of those that are sponsoring as well. But of course, thank NFPA and Kelly. Kelly, we're very proud of you, one of our own here in North Carolina, and set the stage for a lot of the things that go on today throughout North Carolina. So thank you for your work, hard work across not only North Carolina, but the Southeast region that you work now, and of course, your staff there at NFPA. So thank you so much for what you do for North Carolina. Also, State Farm, as she had said, Kelly had said that you've been with us from day one when these summits started. They have been great summits that we have attended. As you see today, we have 275 on a Zoom, a virtual meeting. That's unheard of. But there's a lot of good information comes out of that. State Farm does so much for North Carolina, from the fire prevention packets that you provide across the state, from the K-9 program for fire investigations. And I have attended a lot of the agencies with the commissioner, and a lot of great people work throughout the state. So thank you for your commitment on the fire safety through North Carolina. And of course, Shannon, with all state fire marshal and injury prevention staff, our great staff, they do great work each and every day. So they are working hard. So thank you all for the work that you do each and every day. And of course, Peg Paul with the National Fire Sprinkler Association, thank you for your work. And we've got a virtual meeting tomorrow we're looking forward to. And I see Lori online here, see her face there, but without Kidda and the work that they do, we would not have a lot of these smoke alarm programs that we have across the state. With the commissioner had a smoke alarm canvassing due to the fire death rate that we have seen. That's been huge for the state of North Carolina and doing the work. So our office is very committed in the fire safety and community risk reduction across North Carolina. For many years, North Carolina has been a model. It's never carried the name community risk reduction, but through the Safe Kids program, we've been doing the work for many years here. A lot of that's through the Governor's Highway Safety, and know it's traffic related, but we've done the senior fall prevention, the OMD, there's a lot of programs that come out of North Carolina that are modeled across the country, and we're very proud of that. Last year's budget, I asked for $30,000 additional dollars to set up a community risk reduction team and a budget line item. And that's basically coming from what we have evaluated, the data we've collected from the fire deaths that now is required to report within 48 hours to our office. That's been huge to be able to identify what our issues are and how we need to combat that in the future. I've been elected or appointed to the board of directors for NASFL, the National State Fire Marshal Association. I chair the community risk reduction group for that organization because of the work that we're doing here in North Carolina. Of course, I'm teamed up with South Carolina, Tennessee, and Colorado that's doing great work as well. And we hope to work on some community risk reduction nationwide. And this summit here in North Carolina is done across the country, and a lot of the same fire officials are getting the same information. So I could go on and on, but that's what's going on here at the Office of State Fire Marshal. We're looking at growing that. I have a vision board over here in the office. In the next 4 years, that community risk reduction team is set up on that board to try to pursue that in the next 4 years. At this time, it's my honor to welcome and introduce our next speaker. For the last 4 years, I have traveled this great state and seen a lot of good folks, great things going on, and sometimes seen some bad things. But it has been a complete honor, and it has humbled me to be able to see this gentleman network across this state, build partnerships and relationships. At the end of the day, you always do what's right for our customers and the citizens of North Carolina. And I look forward to what the next 4 years hold for us. Commissioner, thank you for your unwavering support of the fire service of North Carolina. At this time, I'd like to introduce your insurance commissioner, State Fire Marshal Mike Causey.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Kelly, and State Farm and NFPA for putting on this Fire Safety Summit. Brian's already hit the highlights, but I can't thank the fire service enough for all the hard work they do every day and every week to keep us safe. And you can tell from this morning, the weather's a lot colder. We had a heavy frost up in Guilford County this morning. Tonight, we're going to have freeze. So people are breaking out those space heaters, and Thanksgiving's coming up. You've got everybody talking about deep frying turkeys, and I think we're doing a demonstration next week on that. But it's a year-round goal to keep fire safety front and center with the public. As Brian mentioned, the things like the smoke alarm campaigns and things that different fire departments have done across the state to reach out to their communities. As I travel around, I see signs at different volunteer fire departments. Remember to change your batteries in your smoke detectors and things like that. We had the independent insurance agents that helped us with the coloring books on fire safety, the Operation Edith. And we've been out traveling this year, been out all over the state, from the ocean to the other state lines and every nook and cranny. And I'll say to any of the fire departments that have events or have anything coming up, to let me know or let Brian know, let the Office of State Fire Marshal know in advance, if you will, and we'll do our best to attend as many of those events and ceremonies as we can. I just thank you all for your commitment to the fire service and fire safety. This year, I never thought I'd be interviewing people like this, by Zoom meetings and computers, but it seems like most of these meetings that I've attended this year have been these virtual type meetings. Now, we still have people coming in the office every day. We gave our employees, for the most part, if they're in jobs that they can do that, we allow the employees the opportunity to work from home and keep track of their time. But we have a significant number of people that through this pandemic come into this office every day. So we're here to help. If there's anything we can do to help you, please reach out to us and let us know. And Brian, I'll turn it back to you for any of the specifics that you might want to cover on Office of State Fire Marshal or Kelly. Kelly knows it up one side and down the other. So Kelly, thank you for having me.
It's all you, Kelly. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Commissioner Causey, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. It's always an honor. I'm a little partial to the State Fire Marshal's office, so I'll tell you, anytime I can have y'all to partner with, and I tell you, it makes my heart so happy that everyone is collaborating together. So thank you for that, and thanks for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you. That's what it's all about, teamwork. See
yes,
ya.
sir, and congratulations.
Thanks.
So I'm going to turn it over now to the Senior Director of Public Education at NFPA, and she's my people also. Andrea is in Rhode Island, and she joined our team, and we have enjoyed getting to know her and have her as part of the leadership at NFPA. So with that, I'll turn it over to our leadership, Andrea Vasquez. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And my thanks to Chief Taylor and Commissioner Causey. And just welcome everyone today. I'm so pleased that I'm part of this today and love the work that is done. I've been watching North Carolina for a long time, even before I came to NFPA, because my background is in public health and health education. And taking a look at what different states do and how they organize is so incredibly rewarding to see the passion and the dedication that is involved with this. I would like to offer my thanks to the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition for the sponsorship of this virtual platform that allowed over 275 people to register for this event today. To my thanks to the fire service partners in North Carolina, the North Carolina Office of the State Fire Marshal, and who really worked hard with State Farm to host this event. And again, these things it looks really simple once we're on the video, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind this. As I was thinking about what to say this morning, I kept thinking about what I've been hearing over and over and over again this year: unprecedented, uncertain, now more than ever. And we're hearing these words all the time. And in the world of fire and life safety education, that's the point. We prepare for the uncertain, for what's coming around the corner. It's a dynamic field. 20 years ago, we weren't even putting certain things on the radar that we're thinking about today. And that's the point of it. And it's the innovation and the passion and the dedication that you all bring that allow you to be able to rise to the challenge, innovate, find new ways to reach your audiences, and constantly try to stay, in this case, ahead of the curve. Our commitment at NFPA remains. Our goal is to continue to provide resources for you, materials, guidance, professional development, anything that we can do to put in your hands so that you can work with your population. You know them best, we don't. So our goal is to hear from you what is needed, what's going on in the world, what kinds of resources you need, and to respond to that. Once again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Take this time out of your day. Try to stay off your phone during the sessions. There's a nice big lunch break where you can go back and check your email. Take this time for you. This is your opportunity to shore up your resources to be able to help your community. It's the oxygen mask thing, right? So please, this is the time for you to put your oxygen mask on, take a deep breath of some great fire and life safety education and resources, and then bring it out to the community. Again, a reminder, throughout the rest of this day, if you have a question, put it in the Q&A box. And the chat is just for regular side conversations. And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Lori Robertson from State Farm. State Farm has just been an amazing partner with NFPA at the national level and with so many states at the local level. And it is that kind of private-public partnership that really makes things happen. So Lori, take it away, and thank you all. Have just a great day.
Thank you, Andrea, and thank you for allowing me to be here with you today. Every day, all of you in this room wake up and go to work pledging to protect your communities. It's a calling and you answered. And on behalf of State Farm, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your bravery, your dedication, and your commitment to keep all safe. Our mission at State Farm is to help people manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and realize their dreams. Since 1922, we've been working to help you protect our neighbors from some of those risks. We recognize the significant damage and loss of life that can result from a fire and any other home-related accident. We are committed to being a good neighbor for first responders across the state, helping provide the resources that you need to keep your communities informed and educated through summits like these, public education activities, support of national organizations, and encouragement of stronger building codes. I do want to point out a couple of the programs that we partner with that are relevant to your line of work. We support the American Red Cross by helping install fire alarms in the homes of low-income households, as well as the households of senior citizens. On our website, statefarm.com, we have tons of information about home safety and loss prevention, from loss mitigation topics such as fire safety, crime prevention, electrical hazards, wind and hail damage, water loss prevention, and so on. One of my favorite programs is the Arson Dog Program. Since 1993, this program has provided scholarships for over 380 handler and K9 teams in fire departments, state fire marshal, and law enforcement agencies across the United States and Canada. The State Farm Scholarship includes all training fees, acquisition of the dog, lodging during training, chemist certification of the K9 team, and transportation expenses. The teams return home to their jurisdiction and investigate suspicious fires, regardless of who the insurer is. State Farm is the only company to have this type of program, and we have 3 active teams in North Carolina, which include New Bern, Southern Pines, and the Clyde-Asheville area. We do serve on the board of directors for the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition. And lastly, we work with the National Fire Protection Association to share safety messaging about the dangers of wildfire and how to prevent the risks of wildfire. This includes sponsoring the National Wildfire Preparation Day every year. Thank you again for allowing me to join you today. Thank you for all that you do for our communities and keeping everybody safe. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Lori. And I also wanted to thank Kim Conyers. You probably know that name. Kim Conyers is with State Farm Outreach, and Kim is a local girl. I call her because she lives in Apex, and Kim has a huge heart for North Carolina, and she's been part of the national expansion we've done with State Farm. So I want to thank Kim Conyers and Lori for being with us today. It's now my honor to introduce Shannon Bullock, the Deputy Director of the Injury Prevention Section and Director of Safe Kids North Carolina, to give you some updates from the North Carolina Office of State Fire Marshal. As you know, the Injury Prevention Division has done amazing things, and I know she's going to give them some kudos, but that leadership starts at the top. And Shannon, thank you for the leadership and care that you've given to all the work from birth to senior adults in North Carolina, and the way that you've helped shore up prevention for our state and lead this nationally. So with that, I'll turn it over to Shannon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. And thank you for having me today. I'm excited about today's presentation. We're going to talk about prevention and what we do at OSFM and the State Fire Marshal. So give me just 1 second. Let me share my screen.
And Shannon, can I make just one more announcement?
Absolutely.
Okay, just a reminder, the chat will be used for just conversations between attendees, and then please use the Q&A for questions for Shannon, and we'll answer them at And we've disabled the raise your hand function because there's no way to get back to people. So please enter any questions into the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Can you see my presentation fine?
Yes, ma'am. You're ready to
Okay.
go.
Okay, so today we're going to just talk about injury prevention, safe kids, and what we do, and getting to know us if you don't already know us. And if you do already know us and know what we do, then this is just a refresher for you. We may say something on this presentation that you may like and want to be a part of. I always like to start with this slide. It shows what we do each and every day. When we talk about unintentional injury, really kind of what are we talking about here? Hold on just 1 second. I don't know what that was on my screen. So what are we really talking about? We're not talking about, just the slips and the bruises, but, the serious injuries that can affect all families or even lead to death in some cases. These injuries, they come from car crashes, they come from drownings, poisonings, guns, fires. They come from anything that can happen that's unintentional. So in this slide, what we're showing at the top is for all age groups. Poisoning is the leading cause of unintentional injury death in North Carolina, and poisonings most likely are overdoses. That's followed by car crashes and then falls. Potentially more than 90% of the time, we feel like firefighters are the first ones on the scenes to all three of these. Below that, we split them out per age group. And what's interesting is that car crashes it consists across all age groups, and poisoning consists from 15 and over, and falls are really prevalent in 65 and over. So these are some of our programs, campaigns, and risk areas that we work to prevent. The top 4 are our main focus, but we also provide resources and tools and assist in the other risk areas as well. We'll look at all of these in a few minutes on our website, but for now, we're going to go through the top 4 of these: child passenger safety, Operation Medicine Drop, hot cars, and fire prevention. So we do a lot of work in child passenger safety, and the main reason is car crashes is the leading cause of unintentional death for children in North Carolina still. Child passenger safety has come a long way since the CPS law was enacted, specifically in the death of children. Our research is suggesting that 9 out of 10 children are still improperly restrained in a vehicle. So we still have a lot of work to do. When we talk about being improperly restrained in a vehicle, this could mean that they're in a car seat, but the car seat is not buckled in. They could be in a seat belt, but they really should be in a booster. And they may not even be in a restraint at all. And this, can happen for many reasons. Some parents just can't afford a car seat. They are pricey. If you've been to Walmart and seen car seats, they're really pricey. Installing car seats are difficult. It's got a huge manufacturer's directions that aren't clear. So for whatever the reason, we want to make sure all children are buckled up properly. And that's why we do a lot of work in child passenger safety. So thanks to our funding from Governor's Highway Safety, we're able to do a lot of outreach and education. As I just talked about, putting in a car seat is really difficult. So, and to be certified and to put in a seat, you have to take the National Child Passenger Safety Technician course. Hopefully a lot of you guys have already done that. The course is 4 days in length, and you must recertify every 2 years. We hold about 20 to 25 CPS technician certification classes yearly. This is during non-COVID times. Now, COVID times has changed us all around. We have over 3,300 certified child passenger safety technicians. Many of those are in fire departments. We hold update classes and webinars so that our CPS techs can obtain their CEU credits that they need to recertify. So if you need some CEU credits, let us know and we can tell you where to get these webinars or update classes at. In addition to that, we were able last year through our funding from Governor's Highway Safety to pay for recertification fees. In addition, we're going to be able to do that again in 2021. So we have about 258 permanent check-in stations across North Carolina. Most of our permanent check-in stations are located in fire departments. And this is where parents, for those of you who don't know what a permanent check-in station is, it's where parents and caregivers can bring their seat in and get assistance. on proper installation. And that's usually free of charge. And a lot of times, like I said, they are in fire stations. So if you're not a permanent check-in station and you want to be one, we can help you become one as well. We oversee the CPS diversion program, which is currently active in over 44 counties. And for you guys that don't know about the diversion program, it allows parents who have been cited for not restraining their child properly and they get a citation to take a CPS class and learn how to properly restrain their child. In turn, their ticket can be dismissed. We also supply brochures, posters, and car seats. We provide presentations and attend CPS events and clinics wherever is necessary. And then I want to personally thank all the CPS techs and permanent check-in stations on this call. You're the ones out there doing the work, and we do appreciate everything you do. It is estimated that we do over 11,500 seats checks annually. And I think that's a low number, but that's the number that's being reported. So that's 11,500 children that we know are safe in a vehicle because of the work you do in your fire station. Lastly, on this slide is our current CPS classes. COVID, like I said, has forced us to change up everything we've done this year. And many of our classes in 2020 were canceled. So we weren't able to have them, but we are hoping to be back in business as usual starting March of 2021. If you need any more information on CPS classes in your area, you can go on our website, and we'll go through our website in a few minutes and click on your regional specialist, or you can request a class and contact Alan Buchanan. His information is located at the bottom of this slide. So medication safety and Operation Medicine Drop. You know, overdoses is still a national crisis in North Carolina. The number of deaths are decreasing due to our focus on this issue, but still 4 people in North Carolina die each day from an overdose. That equates to over 1,800 people, more than car crashes. And that happened in 2017, the first time ever. Since 1999, there's been over 350 increase in overdoses. And a recent survey was done, and it shows that 20% of high school seniors in North Carolina reported taking a prescription drug without a prescription. We really don't want our medications getting into the wrong hands. We don't want them in our kids' hands. We don't want them in teenagers' hands. We don't want our senior adults taking the wrong medications at the wrong time if they don't need them. We want to get them, we don't want them flushed down the toilet, and we really don't want them in our rivers and streams. So in North Carolina, DOI created Operation Medicine Drop, or as we call it, OMD, back in 2010. We asked communities to hold medication take-back events during the spring and the fall of the year. The first one is during National Poison Prevention Week in March, and it runs through the DEA Take-Back Day in April. It's about a 5-week campaign. The second one is on the last Saturday in October in conjunction with DEA's National Take-Back Day. This past October, March was really terrible in our incineration rates and how many pills we got in, but this October we got in 22 million pills to incinerate. But since 2010, this program is working. Over 232 million pills have been incinerated in North Carolina. We've held over 3,800 events, and we've located a total of 452 permanent drop boxes throughout North Carolina. So anyone can hold a take-back event, but if you want to, you must have a law enforcement officer included, and they have to be willing to take the medications into their custody. You just can't have an OMD event, take medications, and then you keep them. You have to have law enforcement there. We do have a great website, again, which I'll show you in a minute if we have time, to register your events, to find permanent drop box locations, and to find events in your state. It's a good website that you can give out to the community to say, hey, if you have medications in your home, go to this website, and they can get rid of your medications for you. So the next slide I have here is never leave your child alone, or kids in hot cars is kind of what I call it. This program is near and dear to our hearts at Safe Kids North Carolina, not because of the number of fatalities or the near fatalities, but because in North Carolina, we don't want to see one child die from being left in a hot car. In 2019, 52 kids died in the US. In 2018, they hit a record of 58 deaths. I assume due to COVID and with more parents working double duty from home, this has helped lower the number of deaths nationwide. In 2020, there's been 24 children that have died as a result of being left in a hot car. This is great news, but it's still 24 kids that didn't have to die. Since 1998, North Carolina's had 31 deaths. And children are at greater risk for heat stroke. A child's body heats up 3 to 5 times faster than that of an adult, and a car can heat up 19 degrees in just 10 minutes. You all know, we just talked about a little bit, if y'all heard us, about North Carolina weather. We can have hot days 8 months out of the year. So this is an important topic to continue to talk about. It's really hard to understand why people leave children behind, but research shows that 54% were forgotten by a caregiver. 29% were playing in a vehicle and became trapped in that vehicle and couldn't get out. And then 17%, the child was unintentionally left by an adult. We had a goal of 0 deaths in North Carolina for 2020, but unfortunately we did not hit that goal. A 22-month-old child died after being left in a car. They were under the care of an unlicensed daycare center in Richmond County. Those 2 adults were charged in the incident. So we start over. Our goal for 2021 is, again, 0 deaths. If you want to get information out in your community, we have hot car displays. It's a display that shows the temperature inside and outside of the car. They're great to do demos at the Walmart parking lot or at grocery store parking lots. We also have posters that you can put up in your communities, and we have educational postcards that you can give out. These are all free and they are on our website. So now we're going to start talking a little bit about fire fatalities in North Carolina. As you can see, these have decreased over the last 2 years and potentially 3 years. There was 136 fire deaths in 2018, and we went down to 117 deaths in 2019. This map shows the counties and the number of people that died as a result of a fire in 2019. Guilford, Mecklenburg, and Lenoir counties being the top 3. And that was multiple fire deaths in one location in all 3 of these instances. As of today, we have 102 North Carolinians that have died from a fire. I feel like with more prevention efforts, I know we can lower this fatality rate to under 100 next year. When we really drill down into the fire fatality data, it shows that 30% of fire deaths occurred between January and March, with January still being our deadliest month. 38% were over the age of 65. 43% had no smoke alarm installed, or their smoke alarm was not working at the time of the fire. This stat alone shows us that smoke alarm programs with practice escape plans can save lives. And then lastly, no surprise here, cooking and home heating were the leading cause of fire deaths in North Carolina. So we have many avenues of prevention efforts in the fire service. Smoke alarm canvassing grants, smoke alarm Saturday, and sound off program. I'll talk about all of these, but all the other ones are equally important. Community risk reduction, I'll talk a little bit about that as we move on. Carbon monoxide, we focus on COs, carbon monoxide, providing information, CO alarms when we can get our hands on them, and provide presentations on this topic whenever we can. Fire Prevention Week, we promote Fire Prevention Week, and we provide grants to our county Safe Kids Coalitions for partnering with you guys in the fire service to hold an open house. So if your Safe Kids Coalition, county coalition hasn't gotten in touch with you, reach out to them and see if they can do an open house together. Campus fire safety, we work with the North Carolina college systems to get information in residence halls, and we hold events to help educate college kids on the dangers of fire on their campus. Juvenile fire setters, we try to host at least one of these classes each year through the Fire and Life Safety Educator Conference. So the past 2 years, we've had the Juvenile Fire Setter 1 and 2 class. Remembering when. This training is for seniors communities. We have resources available. If you want to hold a training in a senior center on fire safety, we have the information that you need. We plan to hold a Train the Trainer class in 2021 as well. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We also support the Home Fire Sprinkler Coalition and their efforts on getting sprinkler systems into new homes, working with builders. We work with the Fireworks Coalition to ward off any legislation that could allow for South Carolina type fireworks to be sold to the general public here in North Carolina. I know none of us want to see that happen. And we support the Fire and Life Safety Educator Council by hosting their website and assisting them with their yearly conference. And lastly, we do a lot of social media, press events, press releases, media events on fire prevention that you can share at any time that you want to share those. And I'll